That takes showing up. Every call, every claim, every day. AAA Auto Insurance is ranked #1 for auto insurance customer satisfaction in the Southwest by J.D. Power, 2 years in a row. And we don't take this repeat for granted, because trust isn't a given, it's earned. Join the millions of satisfied drivers who choose AAA Auto Insurance. Get a quote at AAA.com/quote. For J.D. Power 2025 award information, visit JDPower.com/awards.
Did you know SRP is a not-for-profit utility? So what does that mean for you? It means everything we do is done with you in mind, like offering flexible rates, payment plans for every income level, and best-in-class reliability. It also allows us to make decisions that benefit our community. As a not-for-profit, SRP prioritizes power, water, and you. Find savings, reliability, and more at srp.net/value.
This is the sound of Lucy, staying on top of her spending. You see, even though she's buying a new pair of jeans, she knows that it fits within her monthly budget, because Wells Fargo will send an alert if her balance drops below her set amount. Yep, nothing gets past Lucy, or Wells Fargo for that matter. However you make money work, Wells Fargo can work with that.
Wells Fargo Bank, N.A., member FDIC.
It's the Bullfrog Spa's Labor Day Hot Tub Sale, happening August 20th to September 8th. For a limited time, receive up to $3,500 off MSRP and a free audio upgrade, valued up to $1,600 on select models. Visit your local Bullfrog factory store today.
The KDUS AM 1060 app is brought to you by Law Bear Auto Accident Attorneys. Hurry to lawbear.com.
That's lawbear.com. The bear has your back.
It's the lunch break.
Tuesday edition. Right here on KDUS AM 1060. Streaming on the free KDUS AM 1060 app. And you can hang out with us on the KDUS AM 1060 YouTube live stream. Chris Schubert, producer Evan there on the other side of the glass. Thanks for hanging out with us here today on the show. Feel like I've said this a lot the last couple of days. A ton for us to do here on a Tuesday, NFL News Dump Day as well. So that is the backdrop. Got a ton of Cardinals news to get to. Cardinals dethroning the Diamondbacks to be the open of the show today. I was appalled last night at the Diamondbacks game. Disgusted by what I saw. Going to go off in just a little bit on the game last night. Buy or sell. A lot to do. Thanks for hanging out with us here today on the program. Producer Evan.
Allegedly.
How are you, my friend?
I'm good. It was a great morning meeting today. Got a lot done. And happy to be here on this Tuesday.
Yeah, got a lot done. We ate a little bit. It was a very productive morning meeting today.
Would you like to dress the elephant in the room?
Sure, if you want to do this, I'm not going to bring it up, but if you want to do it, you can.
A quick birthday shout out to our fearless leader. Happy birthday.
Thank you. Yes, today is my birthday.
We had some birthday donuts this morning.
We did. We had some birthday donuts this morning while we were getting ready for the show. And it was a relatively easy show to put together because, as I mentioned, there's a lot going on. And we'll start with, I think, the biggest piece of news that we got yesterday. Josh Sweat, he's back.
Time for our top story of the day. It's the Daily Special.
I yelled yesterday about getting an update. All I needed to do was wait another, 45 minutes? 90 minutes? I think within 2 hours of the show being over, Josh Sweat was activated off of PUP. And by the way, while we were on the air yesterday, Michael LaFleur meeting with the media had zero interest in revealing that to us. Could have kicked off his media availability by sharing that news because the team announced it in a release a couple of hours later. They want to give us a heads up there, Coach? Not interested? Josh Sweat back out there, activated off of PUP, was practicing yesterday. I still have my worries about the timing with how close we are to the regular season, but at least an update, information of some kind, and obviously moving in the right direction. And was thinking a lot about this yesterday, driving to the Diamondbacks game last night, but also driving home from the Diamondbacks game last night. Again, disgusted by what I saw at the ballpark last night, which I'll get to here in a second. but I couldn't help but go back to Josh Sweat, mainly because the Diamondbacks game was such a blowout. But I kept coming back to Josh Sweat being activated yesterday off of PUP. And I thought to myself, this is the most important member of the team. Most important person on the roster is Josh Sweat. More so than Jacoby Brissett. I think more so than Jeremiah Love, top draft pick from last year's class. Michael Wilson, Marvin Harrison Jr., Paris Johnson, Budda Baker. I mean, it doesn't... More important than Mike LaFleur. I mean, you go up and down the coaching staff, the front office, and the roster. Josh Sweat may be the most important person in the Cardinals organization right now because of the lack of options the Cardinals have in terms of getting after the quarterback. And the one guy they do have in that department, a guy who had a double-digit sack season, can you imagine what it would look like without him? Even with him, I have my worries of him being erased because teams can double team him and they can dare everybody else to try to create enough pressure to impact Matt Stafford, Sam Darnold, Justin Herbert, Patrick Mahomes, list off the quarterbacks that the Cardinals will be playing this season. Even with him, I have a level of concern of the consistency of this pass rush group to get home and make life difficult for these quarterbacks. That's going to be the name of the game for Nick Rallis in this defense. How do we get after the quarterback more than we did a year ago? I don't need you to be elite this season, but I need you to move in a positive direction. If you're able to get to the quarterback just a little bit more than you did last year, I think you stand a chance of not being the defense that you were the last 2 months of the regular season. Again, I don't think you're going to be a great defense, even if everything goes your way. But you can at least move this in the right direction. You need Josh Sweat out there. This defense needs Josh Sweat out there to even have a chance of doing that. So yesterday's piece of news of him just being activated off the PUP, seeing him in the pads, in the jersey, I know there was some discourse about the knee brace that he was wearing. Oh, he's never worn that before. Oh, he has worn it before. The pictures of him wearing the knee brace in a game. We had a little social media drama over that. But he was out there. He was in pads. He was in his jersey. That is a good thing. That is something to celebrate because of how important this guy is to this defense, showing any signs of improvement. Jacoby Brissett is important. But I think Gardner Minshew, I think Carson Beck, with what I've seen so far, can operate the offense at a level to where they can produce. Can this defense produce with and without Josh Sweat? You certainly don't think without him they stand much of a chance with what we've seen thus far from this coordinator and from this group of players. And that's why it's been such a big deal for all of us. What's going on with Josh Sweat? What's the update? And I said to everybody that I would apologize, that I would eat my words. Mike LaFleur knew the whole time. He told us not worried about him being ready for week one. Well, he's out there. He was participating. I think week one certainly in play. Does feel a little rushed, but they may be following their plan and they feel really comfortable with it. So apologies to Coach. He clearly felt good about this. We'll see how involved Josh Sweat is with the joint practices that they're going to have this week with the Green Bay Packers. And you know who's coaching on the other side for the Green Bay Packers, specifically on defense. You know who's their defensive coordinator, right, over there in Green Bay? A fellow by the name of Jonathan Gannon's coaching over there for that Green Bay side.
Yeah, it's funny that he's active this week.
You are not the first person that I've heard mention this in the last 24 hours.
He only likes to play for or against our guy, JG.
Well, that's why some people are out there saying that this is just kind of an audition because Green Bay is one of the teams that has been linked to a trade of Josh Sweat, right?
Of course.
Them, the Patriots, and I think the Bears are the three teams I've seen.
Those are the ones that we've seen.
They come up quite a bit.
Come up quite a bit. There's been like one-off team names here and there, but those are the ones that I've seen multiple times.
So I think with that, the trade request, JG being on the other side, and this is the week he comes back.
Of course, it's going to raise the
right.
question.
It is the default, I think, thought that pops into a lot of people's heads. I think Josh Sweat's going to be playing for the Cardinals this season. I don't think there's a world where before week one he's playing someplace else. Now, let's see how the beginning of the season goes. Let's see where they're at the trade deadline. Then he could be sent off and someplace else. But, man, for this defense to have any type of turnaround from where they were a year ago, they needed Josh Sweat out there. And, again, even with Josh Sweat on the field last year, we saw what that defense was in the latter part of the season. We saw what that defense was the entire year with Sweat having a double-digit sack season. So it's not a guarantee that him being out there is going to all of a sudden lead to the improvements that this defense needs to make. But I don't think they stand a chance without him. I think it looks a lot worse without him. You're going to have to send basically everybody on defense if you want to get after the quarterback without Josh Sweat. Again, with what we have seen thus far from the other personnel that this team has. So a great piece of news yesterday. Activated off the PUP, was in pads, was practicing, and now it's just a question of, is there enough time? Is this, what did we say yesterday, 20-something day ramp up? Is that enough time for Josh Sweat to be ready for week one? This entire time, the Cardinals and Mike LaFleur have told us, we're not worried about week one. He's going to be ready for week one. Still targeting week one. They've never wavered. Mike LaFleur never wavered on his belief that Sweat would be ready for week one. And maybe that's why he was so comfortable joking the other day about him and Josh Sweat discussing a restaurant in Arcadia. Because in the back of his mind, he knew this day was coming. And he knew this day was quickly approaching. So he felt like this isn't going to blow back on me. There's not going to be egg on my face. He's going to be out there in a couple of days, so I can have some fun with the media. I can play a little coy with everybody. I can joke around because I know this isn't going to look bad in a couple of days when Sweat randomly, out of nowhere, after I already talked to the media and didn't give any inclination that this was happening, boom, he's activated, he's out there, he's practicing. Again, a really good sign for this team. They are going to need him. I don't know how good this defense is going to be. I worry that we are just going to see a carbon copy. We are going to see on repeat what we saw the last 2 months of the season last year, where this team couldn't stop anybody, despite everybody in the building knowing what other teams were trying to do against this defense. They could not come up with a game plan to stop teams from getting into the 30s, sometimes into the 40s. So you didn't change the coordinator. The personnel's still the same. A lot of question marks there. But if you are going to have a turnaround, it is going to be because of veteran leaders like Josh Sweat. So you need him on the field. You need him out there as early as week one against Justin Herbert and the Chargers. So we don't have to do the thing anymore, Producer Evan, where we every day or every other day we check in. What's the latest on Josh Sweat? Is anybody going to ask about this? What's going on? It's over. Activated off the PUP. Now we just wait to see if he can ramp up and get ready in time for week one. Glad that we were able to put this story to bed. It was Jacoby Brissett for much of the offseason. It was Josh Sweat towards the middle of the offseason that joined the conversation. Now as we sit here, a week or two away from the beginning of the NFL regular season, Jacoby Brissett, contract taken care of. He's going to be your starter. Josh Sweat, off the PUP list, there. Trade request in the rearview mirror, getting ready for week one. And, oh, yeah, by the way, Cardinals got a contract extension done today with Yoder Froholt. 2-year, $20 million deal. So a lot of things being put in the rearview mirror by this Cardinals team just in the nick of time for the season to begin. So that there aren't too many distractions, if at all, hovering over this team going into week one, going into the start of the regular season. Good thing. Yesterday, a good piece of news.
Definitely a good piece of news. I am going to miss doing the Where is Josh Sweat segment every day, though. It was just kind of a one built-in.
You just knew you could throw it in
there. Made my
there.
job a little easier.
Yeah.
Hate to sound lazy, but that was one we knew we had.
Well, you can just replace that with Cattell Marte,
Exactly. Thankfully, Cattell didn't show up.
You can just swap out your Josh Sweat content for your now Cattell Marte content. You can just go back and forth now. And trust me, we have some Cattell Marte content here today in the program because it looks like he's going to be coming back when his IL stint comes to an end here in a couple of days. And he still hasn't been back around the team. Some interesting comments from Torey Lavello on that. 480-864-1060 is the phone number for you to join us here today on the program. We've also got you over on the KDUS AM 1060 YouTube live stream. Appreciate some of the birthday shout-outs that I'm getting over there. We'll do it once, and then we'll just have a regular show, okay? Let's just continue on and have a regular Tuesday NFL News Dump edition of the lunch break. So we'll get it out of the way here. Yes, it's my birthday. Appreciate all the wishes, but let's keep the show on track today. This program doesn't need any help going off the rails. We do it enough as a group on our own. right? We don't need extra help today. So 480-864-1060, your way to join us here today on the program. We've also got you over on the KDUS AM 1060 YouTube live stream. When we come back, I was disgusted by what I witnessed in person last night for the Diamondbacks. I'll tell you why next. The lunch break, KDUS AM 1060.
The Lunch Break with Chris Schubert.
Ketel Marte, I have not been given any information that tells me that this is anything more than him being disgruntled for one reason or another and walking away from the team. Torey Lovella was asked about comparing this year in Ketel Marte not being around to last year. Torey said, well, last year I had a heads up. That's the quote of the year. The manager of the team saying, well, this time that my player just randomly walked out on us is worse than the time it happened last year because last year I got a tiny heads up about it. Are you kidding me?
11 a.m. to 1 p.m.
It's the end of summer sale with Zero Res. Whether you're looking to clean up before or after a barbecue, or you're getting ready for the new school year, Zero Res has you covered. Carpets, tile, hardwood, rugs, upholstery, air ducts, every surface in your home can be Zero Resified, so it's time to call the cleaning pros at Zero Res. If you haven't tried out Zero Res, or it's been months since your last deep clean, then now's the time to call. Right now, you can get your entire home Zero Resified from Phoenix's Ultimate Carpet Cleaner. And you get 3 rooms of carpet clean starting at just $129. You can also take $175 off your air duct cleaning. Listen, Zero Res has a 4.9 rating on Google. You can trust them. Schedule your appointment at ZeroResPhoenix.com or call 480-507-2419 and ask for the KDUS special. Spell it backwards or forwards, it spells the same. Zero Res.
Motley Crue, the return of the Carnival of Sins. September 16th, Talking Stick Resort Amphitheater. The Crew celebrates the 20th anniversary of Carnival of Sins. Motley Crue, with performances by Tesla and Extreme. Tickets on sale now at livenation.com. Motley Crue, part of the America First Credit Union Concert Series.
Insurance can be one of those things you set and forget, but that could mean you're missing out on better options. Global Credit Union insurance brokers can review your current coverage and do the comparison shopping for you, checking multiple providers to help find the right fit for your needs and budget. Buying a new car or home? They can also help make sure you have the right coverage from day one. Start your quote today at globalcu.org/insurance.
Rome here with your Rome Report. In the least surprising development ever, the Cleveland Browns have named Deshaun Watson their starting quarterback. Dumbest development ever, but least surprising development ever. Given how horrible he was on the field Saturday, and then even worse off it when he lit the Browns fans on fire for booing him, suggests that this was no quarterback competition at all. In fact, it was probably decided a long time ago. And how little do they think of Shedeur Sanders just to give that job to that creep Watson instead? Bad guy, bad quarterback, bad organization. Never mind winning that job, he shouldn't even be on the team. Hell, he should have never been on that team. At this point, Browns fans probably wouldn't even care if Jimmy Haslam went Art Modell and moved that team under the cover of darkness. Because having no team is better than having a team quarterbacked by Deshaun Watson. I'm Jim Rome. Remember, you can also follow me on Instagram at Jim Rome.
O'Reilly. Check engine, ABS, or maintenance light on? Take the guesswork out of your warning lights with O'Reilly Veriscan. The service is free and provides a report with solutions verified by ASE certified master technicians. And if you need help, we could recommend a shop for you. Ask for O'Reilly Veriscan today.
O'Reilly Auto Parts.
This is the story of the one who keeps multiple buildings running smoothly day after day. Plumbing that flows, HVAC that hums, cleaning supplies that keep surfaces sparkling. That's why she counts on Grainger. With easy reordering online and 24/7 support, Grainger helps her keep the products she needs on hand. So shelves stay stocked and buildings stay ready. Call 1-800-GRAINGER, click Grainger.com, or just stop by. Grainger, for the ones who get it done.
The Dan Patrick Show.
Deshaun Watson, that fans, you were forced onto them by ownership. they sort of have to root for you. That doesn't mean that they will. Now, the injury and booing you, okay, you should never have that happen. Why don't you just say the following? I hope to turn those boos into cheers. I understand why they would be frustrated. I want to be able to play and show people that I can play. Don't play victim here. Like, you're tone deaf.
Weekdays, 6 to 9 a.m. on KDUS AM 1060.
Producer Evan, I was disgusted last night. In person. Watching the Arizona Diamondbacks take on the Chicago Cubs. And no, I was not disgusted at the shutout, although not great. I was not disgusted at them dropping the first game of this series with the Cubs, although not great. What disgusted me last night, and I'm feeling like I'm going to make some enemies today, Producer Evan, so get ready. Get the shield out. Get ready to protect the program. Because all I've heard the last 8 days now in the wake of Ketel Marte walking out on his teammates in Boston, all I've heard is it's the media's fault. The media's too critical. The media this, the media that. Radio hosts say this. They're not critical enough of ownership and front offices, but they're critical of players. And that's why these teams aren't very successful. Maybe the reason why these teams aren't very successful is because I show up to the ballpark last night. By the way, not a full ballpark for a team that's in a playoff race. A team that started play last night 2 games out of a playoff spot. Wasn't full. A lot of empty seats in that building last night. But the ones that were full, the ones that were filled with people, fans watching the game, 85% of them, Cubs fans. And I may be selling it short. Now, I got it. I know. A lot of people from Chicago come down here, and this is where they retire, right? Cubs play spring training out here. Listen, I got all the excuses. Anything you want to throw at me today, excuse-wise, I've heard it before. You're not going to present me anything new. But you got a team starting a big series against a Cubs team that's holding on to the top wild card spot right now, right? Playoff team. You in a playoff race. Last time I checked, Producer Evan, there's no E next to the Diamondbacks name, right? Still in the mix. We said yesterday, still within striking distance of the Padres for that last series of the year. So, playoff-type atmosphere. And I didn't know it at the time because I was watching the game in person. Wasn't watching the broadcast. Certainly the Diamondbacks were fired up on some of the things the Cubs were doing because they understood the importance of the game. Little sign-stealing debate here today about what the Cubs were doing. So the Diamondbacks clearly understood the competitiveness of this game, understood how big the series was, but the fans didn't. You didn't. Told you, I'm going to make some enemies today. 85% of that ballpark last night that had people in seats were Cubs fans. So please, spare me that it's the media's fault that these teams aren't successful. You got a team that's 2 games out of a playoff spot right now. You can't go to the ballpark to support this team? You can't get there? What's it going to take? Do they have to actually be in the playoffs? Do they actually have to be holding on to a playoff spot? Would it really make that much of a difference if they were holding on? If them and the Padres were flipped in the standings and they had the 2-game lead? Is all of a sudden it now only 55% Cubs fans? Again, I understand the Cubs. Spring training's here. I understand people from the Midwest and the East Coast retire out here, and so you get a lot of Cubs fans. I understand you got a lot of transplants that live here that are fans of the Diamondbacks, but when their team shows up, they'll root for their team. I got all the excuses in the world. You got a team in a playoff race. You got a team that is within striking distance of going to the playoffs in a year where, let's be honest with each other, they shouldn't even be this close to a playoff spot. I'm going to talk about it here at 11:45. They've got 3 starters on the roster right now. 3. They had their star player for the 4th straight year go AWOL in an important moment of the season. All the injuries, the underperformances from Perdomo early in the season, Ketel Marte early in the season. And you can't support the team? And I see Eric over on the YouTube saying that the hosts of this show are not fans of the team. I was at the game last night. Do you know what hat I was wearing to the game last night? I was wearing my purple and teal Serpientes hat. I was there to root on the team that I cover on a daily basis. I want them to do well. I'm excited to see them in a playoff race.
But, and to Eric, I do think has a point in what he's saying. And I will, to play the flip side of that coin, say, listen, I don't think we didn't grow up here. We've not been lifelong Diamondbacks fans. That does not take away from the point of no matter what, the fan base needs to be better. And I think that us growing up or living or having fans of other teams, we see it. We can see the support. The Mets have been through, not trolling you, some tough moments in recent years. The Phillies have been through some tough moments in recent years. They always show up.
But what I don't understand, what does me being a fan, rooting and growing up someplace else for another team, have anything to do with the fact that Diamondbacks fans didn't show up last night? Those two things don't work together. It doesn't matter. I'm asking Diamondbacks fans what they need to see from this team in order to go to a big series against another playoff team at the end of August, basically September. We're basically in the playoffs for the Diamondbacks. I mean, this is it. Every game feels like a must-win. Every game feels do or die right now. And yet 85% of the building last night is Cubs fans? You're telling me that what I saw last night, 85% Cubs fans, 15% Diamondbacks fans, is a representation of the fan base in this market?
No.
But we know that's not the case. We know how full the building can get during a postseason run. And perhaps there are some people that are fair weather fans. They only want to hop on board when they're in the playoffs, right? And they get on board in 2023.
And that's okay, but you have those people.
But hold on. I'm okay with that. You're telling me that this team in the end of August, two
doesn't
games out of a
deserve
playoff
that
spot,
fair weather fan.
That's not good enough for you? What does it need to be? Do they have to be chasing down the Dodgers? That's what made me disgusted last night, on top of watching a team that just looked lifeless offensively.
Yeah.
Merrill Kelly struggled.
I think it was all of it combined. It was Merrill Kelly struggling. It was the building being 85% Cubs fans, and then a lifeless offense. Because you don't hear from any of the Diamondbacks fans, which only amplifies how many Cubs fans are in the building.
The MVP chants for P. Crow Armstrong in the first at-bat of the game, I felt like I was at Wrigley Field. The place went nuts when PCA was announced as the first batter of the game.
Yeah, and to Eric's second point here, Cardinals games are 75% the other fans because of all the transplants. While I agree on the Cardinals, it is slightly different. The Cardinals are getting sold out more, not because of the transplants, because it's a vacation destination. Well, how many transplants are living in Vegas, but the Raiders are going to have more opposing fans every time because, like for my family, they're going to come out here when the Eagles are here, and I'll have extended family. They're not transplants, but this is a vacation destination. They get to come out here in December. The Eagles are here, stay a couple days, get the nice weather, and go to the Eagles game.
Okay. He says that is part of the problem of these teams not being successful. Okay. You've got a team right now. 2 games out of a playoff spot going into play last night. Cubs are in town. That doesn't get you jacked up as a Diamondbacks fan? You're telling me. Can you do me a favor, producer Evan? Can I get the internet? You can ask AI. I don't care. If you want to just Google it, can I get the population of just Phoenix? Just Phoenix. I just want the population.
You don't want the greater area?
Of Phoenix, Arizona. If you can get that number, great. I'll just use the first number you can give
Phoenix
me.
Is 1.68 million people.
Okay. You want to give me the greater Phoenix area, maybe just so I have a bigger number to work with? Although the 1.6 number would be fine.
I mean, well, I think that Mesa alone, 5.2 million people. In Phoenix, Mesa, Chandler, Arizona, there is 5.2 million people.
Perfect. Let's do it this way. Let's just make it 5. Let's round down.
Yeah, no, including all of the Valley, you're looking at 5.2.
5 million people. I'm rounding down to make the math work. Based on Eric's point, you're telling me of those 5 million, 75% are fans of teams that aren't the Arizona Cardinals? I don't agree with that. Don't agree. I don't agree with that being the math. I don't agree with last night being 85-15 to the Chicago Cubs. You can't convince me that of the 5 million people that live in the greater Phoenix area, only 15% of them are Diamondbacks fans. So my point is, if you support the team, this is the moment to support them. This is the time.
Yeah, and I don't think, listen, the one thing Eric is right, Ellen, is we understand there are transplants here. There are going to be Cubs fans there.
When you go to Yankee Stadium, it's 95-5. It's probably 98-2, okay? I'm not saying the Diamondbacks need to be that. I'm not saying they need to be...
But it needs to be 65-35.
I'll take 55-45.
Yeah. It was such an overwhelming amount of Cubs fans last night.
I felt like I was the outlier.
On the broadcast, you could hear the MVP chants. That's a problem.
That's a problem. Listen, the team's 40 games below 500, and they're out of it, and it's the end of the season. All right, I don't love it. It's not a great optic, but I can at least understand it a little bit more. You've got a team in a playoff race.
Now, on all of this, to defend us, meaning me as, a fan of this team since I've started covering them, if I'm sitting on the seat, my best player just quit on me again. Why am I showing up?
Right.
And I get that point, too, of like, they quit on us. Why am I going?
No.
I'll quit on them.
I totally fair, right? I get it. That building being that Chicago heavy last night. And listen, I know it's not the first time
and
that's
those
happened.
Eric said it, too. I was going to say, the Cubs are maybe the worst team.
The Cubs, the Dodgers, and the Yankees tend to be the problem.
Yeah.
Those three teams in particular tend to be a problem. And so, yeah, they're big teams. But, man, the Yankees are going to be here in September. If the Diamondbacks are still in a playoff spot or in a playoff race, and that building is 70, 30, 80, 20, what are we doing here?
Yeah.
I understand it's a transplant city, but at this point, if Phoenix, Chandler, Gilbert, Mesa, Scottsdale, they've been blooming cities for a while. You've got generations of people that are Diamondbacks fans. Maybe if this was a newly formed city and newly formed teams, that argument would still hold. But after a while, after you get through multiple generations, at some point, you got to start seeing more homegrown fans of these teams. And what more could you ask for than a team that's 2 games out of a playoff spot with another playoff team in town?
And I don't think, a side note, I just don't think we're also not seeing enough homegrown fans of the team.
No.
Which is its own problem.
And it leads to what I saw last night. And
because
by the way,
even I went to an era of school where I went to ASU with a bunch of kids from the area. None of them grew up Diamondbacks fans. Like, the Diamondbacks have been here their entire life. A handful of them are Diamondbacks fans. Like, that was the craziest part to me. And maybe that is because you grow up and there's a line of, my dad was a Cubs fan, blah, blah, blah. But the Diamondbacks fandom, like, it felt like it was just not coming up in at least my generation, which I knew was the newest to the Diamondbacks. But they've been here my entire life. I've only known a league with Diamondbacks in it.
So you had that. You had the shutout. It was bad Merrill Kelly. Apparently there was some sign stealing going on. It was a mess last night. An absolute mess. Now, what did we say? We said 3-3 against the Cubs and the Phillies. 3-4 against the Giants.
0-1.
I'm just saying, that's what we said yesterday.
Yep.
So until we're, if they get swept and they're 0-3 and then they got to go sweep Philly, then I'll be a little worried. But we knew what this stretch was going to be. Cubs and Phillies, Ketel Marte not there. These teams are much better than the Diamondbacks. We knew what this was going to be. But yeah, it was bad Merrill Kelly last night. He was not happy after the game about the sign stealing. Again, I was in the building, and I was sitting in the right field bleacher area, so I didn't really see a ton of what was going on. I obviously wasn't seeing it on the broadcast. I only found out about it when I got home in this morning. I don't love if the third base coach is getting signs and relaying them. At the end of the day, it is your responsibility as a pitcher to make sure you're not doing anything that can tip your pitches. but there's also some unwritten rules, and this is where baseball kind of gets itself into some trouble.
Yeah, I want to get into this a little at some point.
Well, we're going to talk about pitching at 11:45, so maybe we can get to it.
I vehemently disagree with Merrill Kelly.
Okay, so we're going to talk about pitching at 11:45, so we can get to that then. 480-864-1060 is the phone number for you to join us here today on the program. We've also got you over on the KDUS AM 1060 YouTube live stream. When we come back, Cardinals were busy yesterday. It was another roster move that further proved a major Monty criticism. That's next, the lunch break, KDUS AM 1060.
The Jim Rome Show.
And of course, it's a big story when it takes about 7 seconds into Dart's preseason debut for the dude to be right back in the blue tent. Like, no matter what happens, he's going to end up back in his home away from home. You took a massive shot, then you napped it out on the field. If you don't want the concussion specialist to think that you might be concussed, you probably should not be napping it out on the field after a huge hit. It's not that complicated.
1 to 4 p.m. Monday through Friday here on KDUS AM 1060.
It's football season, and CW7 Arizona brings the game home to you with the Fiesta Bowl High School Football Showdown. This week, it's Red Mountain versus Castile. So grab your favorite seat on the couch Thursday night at 6:30 only on CW7 Arizona.
When there's a car wreck in the city, does a bear sit in the woods? Not if it's Law Bear. Law Bear Auto Accident attorneys fight for every dollar you deserve. Hurry to lawbear.com. That's lawbear.com. The bear has your back.
The long goodbye begins. A very special evening with Journey. Final Frontier Tour. September 15th, Mortgage Matchup Center. The lights go down one final time. Tickets are on sale now at journeymusic.com. Journey. Final Frontier Tour.
Hi, I'm Tom Shane, third-generation owner at Shane Company. As a family jeweler for almost 100 years, we're known for doing right by our customers. Our legacy of integrity depends on it. We stand behind our engagement rings with our all-inclusive free lifetime warranty. We handpick the most beautiful diamonds, then negotiate for the best price. At Shane Company, we put you first because a friend always has your back. Shane Company, your friend and jeweler.
It's the Bullfrog Spa's Labor Day Hot Tub Sale, happening August 20th to September 8th. For a limited time, receive up to $3,500 off MSRP and a free audio upgrade, valued up to $1,600 on select hot tub models. For even more savings, ask about our factory-certified scratch and dent inventory. Visit your local Bullfrog factory store today, or design your perfect spa online at bullfrogspas.com. Sale ends September 8th.
Summer's almost over, but with a new Toyota from Toyota's National Sales Event, you can turn your end-of-summer scaries into end-of-summer woes. In the mood for some elevated dining? Pack a picnic into a 4Runner and hit up a stunning mountain vista.
Whoa!
Haul a bouncy castle in a Tundra and get crowned the coolest dad at the park.
Whoa! I'm king of the castle!
Drive a Tacoma to the lake to go wakeboarding.
Whoa! That was awesome air. Let's go again.
Or take a BZ to an amusement park with friends. Keep your woes going this summer in a new Toyota.
Event ends August 31st. Dealer inventory may vary. See your participating Toyota dealer for details. Toyota, let's go places.
The NASCAR Cup Series.
Off turn number 4, green flag goes in the air.
Races under the lights on a Saturday night in Daytona.
Let's see if the intensity picks up again like it has all night on these restarts.
Where the final spots in the chase will be decided.
Here comes Joey Logano off turn number 4. The checkered flag is waving.
It's the Coke Zero Sugar 400.
This Saturday at 3:30 p.m. over on KACG 1440.
It was a busy day yesterday for the Arizona Cardinals. First, it was Josh Sweat, activated off of PUP. Then it was the release, the waiving of running back Trey Benson. And we knew the running back room was a place to keep an eye all throughout training camp. The sheer number of players in that room was unsustainable. Jeremiah Love and Tyler Algier, the two newcomers. You knew that those guys would be in there. James Conner, reworked deal. You knew he was probably in there. And so it moved Trey Benson to at least RB4. And coming back off of the injury, the role that they had in mind for their RB4, it just led to him getting waived. And I think it allows us to have a bigger picture conversation today about Monty and his use of what I would classify as the prime cut draft picks, right? You go to the store, producer Evan, and you want to, listen, steak night, right? You're going to break out the grill. Although, question for you, at the new apartment, you have the grills because you can't have one inside the...
Okay, so...
All right,
Can
quickly.
I derail us?
Noel, just, it's got to be a tiny derailment so I can keep us on track here.
I've been dying to do this. So the grills that my apartment building has are like, I need to buy charcoal.
Okay, I'm familiar with these. So
and I've never done that before.
It can be a little challenging. But you've got the grill, so if you want to go to the store, buy
I need to buy the charcoal. Now, I called my dad. It was like, hey, how am I going to handle this? Luckily, he's coming out this weekend. Actually, my mom dropped me off at work today. Very old school. Because she's in town, and, I have the one car. So she drove me to work so she could do things throughout the day.
All right, let's put a pin in that and get back to that in the leftovers. All right, so somebody who's listening, remind me of that when we get to the leftovers, please. You go to the store, we're going to buy the primo steak. We're going the best that the grocery store has to offer, right?
Love it.
We're not messing around.
Yeah, not the one in the fridge.
No.
You're going to the guy at the counter.
That's right.
Yep.
And listen, we're not messing around. I need the best cut you got. I don't want something that I'm going to cook, spend $40 on, and I'm going to bite into it, and I'm going to be like, what is this, right? We're looking for the best of the best. That's what you got to do with your top draft picks, okay? First round, second round, third round. Day one, day two, those are the prime cut. Those are the ones you go to the butcher at the grocery store and you say, I'm not looking in the cooler. I want you, boom, give me something right there. Nice and fresh. Wrap it up for me in the meat paper. Maybe you're taking a trip to Von Hansen's and you're getting yourself a nice quality piece of steak. That's what a top 100 draft pick is. That is what a premium draft asset is. Producer Evan, do me a favor. Can you go look at some of the draft classes for the Arizona Cardinals over the last couple of years? And I just want us to focus on day one and day two picks because you got Trey Benson, who was, I believe, a day two pick a couple years ago now.
So do you want to start with 2023 is the first?
Is that his first draft?
I think that's the... I'll double check.
Well, wherever Paris Johnson.
Yep,
That's his first draft.
Okay. So 2023.
So I want you to just give me day one, day two picks, and after each name, just pause so I can interject.
Okay, in this one, you had 4 picks in the top 3 rounds. Paris Johnson.
Okay, jury's still out on whether or not he could be a perennial Pro Bowler, but a good pick.
B.J. Ojulari in the second round.
I mean, did you just go listen to the first segment about the pass rush help from anybody not named Josh Sweat?
41st pick of the draft. Garrett Williams, 72nd pick in the third round.
That's a good pick. He just got to stay healthy, but that was good value.
And here we got our best one, maybe, Michael Wilson.
Okay. Michael Wilson, probably going to get an extension at some point, long-term receiver. Okay, so that's a decent draft.
2024, if you ask me, just off the top of my head, was his best. So let's just keep going here. In 2023 was his best. 2024, round 1, pick 4, Marvin Harrison Jr.
Still waiting.
By the way, this is a heavy top 100 picks here.
Okay.
Also in the first round, pick 27, Darius Robinson.
Still waiting.
In the second round, pick 43, Max Melton.
Okay. Well, that's probably the best one of the 3.
Into the third round, number 66 overall, Trey Benson.
Gone off the team, cut yesterday.
In the third round, 71st overall, Isaiah Adams.
I mean,
enough said.
Yeah, do we want to do that again today? Because I've said some things that I'm going to keep them to myself.
In the third round, 82nd overall, Tip Ryman.
Okay.
It's a nice blocking tight end.
Sure.
In the third round, 90th overall, Elijah Jones.
All right. So then you go to 25. And 25 is Walter Nolan.
In 2025, they selected Walter Nolan, 16th overall. 47th overall in round 2, Will Johnson.
Okay.
78th overall in round 3, Jordan Birch.
And then this past year, it's Jeremiah Love, it's Chase Pasantis, and it's Carson Beck. Jury's still out on those 3 guys, obviously. But that's the group. That's it. That's the day 1 and day 2 draft capital for Monty. You got players that aren't with the team. You got a player that they just cut yesterday. You don't have a single Pro Bowler anywhere. You don't have a single bona fide superstar starter.
How about this? You've drafted, and I like what Michael Wilson did last year, but you've drafted 2 receivers.
You drafted a quarterback who I don't know when he's going to get on the field.
Jury's still out on when
you drafted a guard who's hurt, and we're not going to get to see him this year. You drafted another guard who's going to be the starter. That scares me. Your first-round picks outside of Paris Johnson Jr. Aren't inspiring a ton of confidence. It's a make-or-break year for a lot of them. These are the prime cut steaks at the grocery store, and you're wasting them. There isn't that slam dunk pick in there. And Trey Benson is just the latest example of, boy, it doesn't feel like we're using this capital to the fullest, and so we get to a season and we don't have a quarterback. And the right side of the offensive line is a question mark. Our wide receiver room we kind of like, but we're not sure it long term. Defensively, we don't have a bona fide pass rush. There's a lot of misses in there. B.J. Ojolari, Walter Nolan, Darius Robinson, guys that you're still waiting to break out and to do something. So Trey Benson is just the latest example of a draft strategy that over 3 years has produced some decent players, right? Garrett Williams, Max Melton, Will Johnson. The jury's still out on the group from this year. Paris Johnson's a good player. Not saying it's all a mess, but it's not what it needs to be when you have that much capital in a 4-year span. 480-864-1060 is the phone number for you to join us here today on the program. We've also got you over on the KDUS AM 1060 YouTube live stream. When we come back, usually you need at least 5. The Diamondbacks right now have 3. That's next, the lunch break, KDUS AM 1060.
Another NAU football season begins this Saturday right here on KDUS AM 1060. Join the Lumberjacks as they look to start their 2026 season with a win over Eastern Washington. With head coach Brian Wright at the helm, the Lumberjacks look to reach new heights this season. It's NAU football versus Eastern Washington live this Saturday afternoon. Pregame at 1 p.m. and kickoff at 2 right here on KDUS AM 1060, online at KDUSandCity.com and the KDUS app.
Arizona businesses need more skilled workers, and our students are the solution. At the Pima Joint Technical Education District, we build the talent Arizona businesses rely on. With cutting-edge programs in health and technology and hands-on career training, our 30,000 students will graduate ready for high-demand careers. JTED builds the future of Arizona's workforce. Learn how our students will bring excellence to your business at PimaJTED.org. This message is sponsored by Potoff Private Philanthropy.
For over 50 years, they redefined rock. The spirit lives on.
Monday warrior, mean strike. Today's Tom Sawyer, mean pride.
Geddy Lee and Alex Lifeson celebrate 50 years of Rush 50-something tour, December 1st and 3rd, 2026, Desert Diamond Arena. Tickets are on sale now at rush.com. Legends don't stop. They evolve. Rush.
At America First Credit Union, we're all about helping your money do more. And right now, we can also help you get more money. Because for a limited time, when you join America First and take advantage of select everyday products and services, you can get a cash bonus of up to $350. So don't wait to get your money working. Head to AmericaFirst.com and become a member today. Subject to membership eligibility, terms, creditworthiness, change, and conditions. Additional requirements may apply. Federally insured by NCUA. Equal Opportunity Lender.
Your local Arizona lottery retailer is full of new and exciting possibilities because draw games just got an upgrade with more prizes, more drawings, and more chances to win. Your favorite draw games like Powerball, The Pick, and Pick 3 are now better than ever. Games start at just $1, so you don't have to pick one. You can play all 4 new and improved draw games today, including the brand new Pick 4 game. Play today at a retailer near you. Arizona Lottery. Love the play.
Ready to tackle each morning with the best sports information coming at you?
I'm going to take a logical approach.
Get that weekday mornings on KDUS AM 1060 from 6 to 9 a.m. with the Dan Patrick Show. Dan Patrick, the Danettes, sports icons, sports legends, celebrities, poll questions. The Dan Patrick Show has it all.
It's a crapshoot.
Be sure to lock your dials to AM 1060 or 100.7 HD2 from 6 to 9 a.m. Mornings just got better.
This story is about us.
Wrapping up hour number 1 here at the lunch break, KDUS AM 1060. Thanks for hanging out with us today on the show. Producer Evan, before I get into what is a math problem for the Arizona Diamondbacks, since we're discussing pitching here, you're red hot about Merrill Kelly's comments after the game over this sign stealing. Now,
I think red hot may be a stretch.
I think there are lines when it comes to, sign stealing or pitch tipping that you've got to be careful of, right? The Astros, the video, banging on the trash cans, that's going too far, right? The Red Sox and the Apple Watch, that's going too far, right?
Yeah, anytime you're using technology to sign steal, I am vehemently against it.
Right. So then we get to, does it need to be players on the field,
within the line?
Is it somebody that's on second base that can, catch a sign and relay a message? Or is it okay if it's a coach, a third base coach, that's standing there and he picks up something and he tells his player? Now, again, to me, I don't love it, right? I would rather it come from a guy on second base picking up a signal and, relaying it to his teammate in the batter's box. But to me, if I'm standing at third base and I'm coaching, and I'm not using any extra technology to decipher something, and I notice something, the responsibility is on you as a pitcher to mitigate against that. I'll give you an example. There was a couple of weeks ago, my baseball team was playing. And I think it was Otto Lopez of the Miami Marlins was at second base. I showed you the video of this.
Yes.
He was at second base. And instead of taking his lead where he was, towards third base, he was taking his lead where he was standing in front of second base. And what I mean by that is closer to the grass where the pitcher's mound is. He was standing there and basically was watching into the glove of the Mets pitcher. That feels like, okay, sure, you're standing there at second base. You're not using any technology to gain an advantage, but this doesn't feel like it's on the up and up, right? This doesn't feel like you playing by the unwritten rules of the game. But at the end of the day, the responsibility is on you as the pitcher. They're not gaining an unfair advantage by using cameras and technology.
And I feel like I have more of a problem with somebody straddling the bag like Otto Lopez was in that moment.
1,000%.
And having a foot towards first base rather than I do a coach in their position at the third base coaching spot.
It's not like he was outside of the box or he was inside the lines looking. Like he was where he is
designated to be.
Fair.
And saw it. And then what? I have, as a coach on a team, I can pick something up and not give it to my players?
Now, two other things.
I'm part of the team, and I'm not using any piece of technology to give me an advantage.
Two other things. I don't love this being the narrative after we lose 7-0.
No.
Right? I don't love that part of it.
Nope. You didn't score.
Secondly, I love that everybody is on edge. I love that everybody understands the stakes of these games, right? Jeff Bannister was really angry. He hit him with the Dikembe Mutombo, shaking the finger towards the Cubs dugout. No, this is not what you're supposed to do. I love that. Whether or not I agree or disagree with how the Diamondbacks feel about it, I love that they understand the stakes of these games. That they understand this is our season, man. And if we feel like you're doing something you're not supposed to be doing, we're going to call you on it.
And we
need these games.
I want to be very clear. This is the first time it's been brought to the Diamondbacks' attention.
Sure. And again, we're not really sure exactly.
We've seen this. We've seen a roller coaster season with Merrill. How many teams have caught up on this? How many teams have noticed this?
Right. I mean, it's just...
Right, like how many teams have actually said, hey, from the third base angle, you can catch a glimpse of glove higher, glove lower, whatever it may be. But in today's baseball, In fact, you have technology to prevent sign stealing.
You've got PitchCom.
PitchCom has made it so easy to prevent sign stealing.
Yeah, and to me, this is more so that he was getting a read of the way Merrill was holding his glove on the changeup. Because it was the changeup in particular that he was signaling.
Correct. And it had to be how his hand goes into the glove on a changeup, how he holds it.
Just to make us, put us in the clear.
Allegedly.
Because we're not really sure what was going on.
Yes.
All of this is...
Allegedly.
It's the way he was holding the glove. It's... Something was giving it away that, this is the changeup. Now... Could this potentially explain the issues that Merrill Kelly's been going through every other month? It feels like if it was an issue, it would be an issue the entire season. It wouldn't alternate month by month, but maybe certain teams have been picking up on it and certain teams haven't. I don't know what could be going on. All I know is I tend to not think it's that egregious of a move by the Cubs if they were doing it.
Yeah, I think to call it Bush League is an exaggeration and you being hot in the moment after a loss.
Right. And again, it's right after the game. You didn't have a great start. You lost. You're fired up. You think that they did something that is violating the unwritten rules of the game. You're going to be red hot about it, right? And Merrill was after the game. At the end of the day, the team didn't score.
Yeah. And it's just not as... I don't think it's as egregious as... If I see it from the dugout, I'm letting my players know.
Right, so... Just
like if I'll give you a very famous story on something. The tuck rule play. Mm-hmm. Have you ever heard the story of the tuck rule play?
Yes.
Where, long story short, Eric Allen makes a tackle the play before on the Patriots sideline. Here's the play call come in, and that's why Charles Woodson goes off the left edge, and Eric Allen and Brady pumps because Eric Allen jumps that route. What's the difference between me making a tackle on that sideline, hearing a play call come in, I have no problem with that, than a coach on the sideline who is meant to be in his position picking something up and telling his players?
Also, again, I know there's a lot going on in a batter's box, but let's say the third base coach picks up on something with the way Merrill's holding his glove. And then in between innings, he tells his guys that in the dugout.
Yeah.
Is it okay if he says it to them when he's in the dugout compared to maybe saying something when he's out there coaching third base? Again, you put yourself into this gray area where it just doesn't make sense. Like, to me...
And by the way, how do you enforce that?
To me, as long as you're not gaining an unfair advantage using cameras, technology, Apple Watches, buzzers, perhaps in the case of Jose Altuve.
Allegedly.
As long as it is with what you're seeing with your own two eyes.
I have no problem with
it. You've got to avoid. The responsibility falls on you as the pitcher and as a team to defend against them. And I don't think what the Cubs were doing, again,
allegedly,
rises to the level of egregious. What a fun hour number one of the program. Boy, we got a jam-packed hour number two. Ketel Marte, NFL News Dump. But we start with buy or sell. We'll do it next. Thanks for hanging out with us. It's the lunch break. KDUS AM 1060.
AM 1060 KDUS Tempe Phoenix and KSLX HD2 Scottsdale Phoenix.
Summer's winding down and life is ramping back up, and Aleve is here for all those moments that matter. From early mornings to late afternoons, Aleve relieves pain in 30 minutes for up to 12 hours with just one pill. For busy schedules packed with school drop-offs, long meetings, and an endless to-do list, Aleve delivers long-lasting pain relief so you can keep on track. From sunup to sundown, you'll be ready for whatever's next. Feel Aleve. Use as directed for minor aches and pains.
Hi, everybody. Jay Leno here. You know, I love doing live stand-up comedy. No politics, no lectures. I'm not giving you my opinion on every issue of the day. Just nothing but jokes. So come by, check it out, and we'll have a lot of fun. Oh, it's clean, too.
Jay Leno live on stage. Friday, November 27th, Salt River Grand Ballroom at Talking Stick Resort. Tickets are on sale now at TalkingStickResort.com.
Come on by. Check out the show.
It's time to talk Grizzly.
The air conditioner made specifically for Arizona summers.
Alaskan AC introduced the Grizzly a couple years ago, and the reviews are pouring in.
This one says, I love how quiet it is. I can hardly hear it come on, but I'm always comfortable.
Another person writes, finally an air conditioner that can withstand the desert heat and dust.
This one says, I like its fluffy fur and cute black nose.
Anyway, if it's time to upgrade your AC, you can't do better than the Grizzly.
Only available at Alaskan AC.
People love it.
Like this person who said, we live in an older home and the Grizzly keeps us comfortable in every room.
Or this guy. We live just outside of town and the dust is horrible. Glad we have an AC that can take it.
Or this one. He's so cuddly and has these adorable pads on his paws.
Gary, I think you're on a different webpage.
Gary, I think you're different.
Learn more about the Grizzly at alaskanac.com.
When your auto insurance shows up, every call, every claim, every day, that's a win. J.D. Power has ranked AAA #1 for auto insurance customer satisfaction in the Southwest 2 years running. Get a quote at AAA.com/quote. Visit JDPower.com for details.
The KDUS AM 1060 app is brought to you by Law Bear Auto Accident Attorneys. Hurry to lawbear.com.
That's lawbear.com. The bear has your back.
Number 2 of the lunch break here on KDUS AM 1060, streaming on the free KDUS AM 1060 app, and you can watch us on the KDUS AM 1060 YouTube live stream. Chris Schubert, producer Evan, hanging out with you here today on the show. And we start hour number 2, the hottest sports questions in the Valley. Producer Evan has them for us. And we hand it off to the man with the questions that I hopefully have all the answers to.
This has been quite the saga. I first want to start by addressing a comment over in the YouTube from our guy, It's All Code. It says potato salad selection and prime beef draft windows.
You know what? That's somebody who listens to the program.
Now, again, I keep getting killed on this potato salad pick.
If you're going to tell me that you didn't take it, it's just not true. I don't care what the list that you keep says. You took potato salad.
And then dropped potato salad and picked up cheese.
That's not how the drafts on this show work. You can't after the
UDFA.
fact.
I can do it.
You dropping them after the draft doesn't change that you selected them in the spot that you selected them in, which is what the main criticism in the moment was and still is. But yes, Code, these draft picks for the Cardinals are very potato salad-esque. And again, that's a reference that only diehard listeners to the lunch break would understand, because you had to have been there the day that we did our barbecue foods draft, and producer Evan took potato salad like number 2 overall.
It was like number 6 overall. Ketel Marte should address the team before he returns to the lineup.
Of course. And we're going to talk about this a little bit later, that all signs are pointing towards Ketel Marte rejoining the team when able after this 10-day IL stint. You can't... Let me see if I can, on the fly, come up with an analogy here. It would be like if I just, today after work, after the show, said, I'm not coming back for a week, 2 weeks. And I don't say anything to anybody. I don't tell anybody. You got to do the show in my absence. And then after the 2 weeks, I just roll right into my office and I sit down and we just start having a morning meeting trying to put the show together. You'd be like, dude, where'd you go? Why did you leave the show for 2 weeks? Like, you can't just fall back into what you were doing before. You have to kind of explain yourself.
Like, imagine if I was showing up every day and just you weren't here.
Right, and then I showed up and I just wanted to act like everything was normal. That's not how it works.
I think I would just be like, the show went on.
The show goes on.
Show goes on.
quote from one of my favorite movies. It's the only part of that quote I can.
I can't remember. One day you had texted me. I can't remember.
No, I was. There was a. It was. I remember exactly when it was. It was. My dad was here. We went to the concert. Out at Talking Stick Resort Amphitheater, and it rained, and there was a delay, and I was debating whether or not, because I was out in the rain all day, and I was going to get home late, and I was considering just not coming in here the next day. And then I sent you the Jordan Belfort, Leonardo DiCaprio, Wolf of Wall Street, The Show Goes On.
Yes, that's what it was.
Thing on social media.
The Cardinals may give Josh Sweat a few plays in Friday's final preseason game just to get him ready.
I mean, you certainly would like to see him get a couple of snaps, right?
I think so. I think it would be helpful.
I mean, does he need them? No, Josh Sweat's probably...
Josh Sweat. I get it.
A veteran enough to be okay. But yeah, if we can get him a series, if everything goes well. Now remember, this is the first practice he's had. First thing he's done all offseason. So the idea that he's going to be able to get into a preseason game might be a little far-fetched. I think we take it day by day and we see how each day goes for Josh Sweat and the Cardinals. But I don't think they're going to rush him out there. No, I think they'd like to see him out there. I'd like to see him out there. But I don't think they're going to rush him.
Yeah. I think that's very fair. A third base coach is totally within his rights to steal signs if possible.
Yeah, I think so. I think earlier I said that I don't love it because, the unwritten rules say between the lines. I'm not a huge fan of the unwritten rules anyway. If they're important, write them down, okay? If you want to make sure there isn't a gray area and you leave things up for interpretation, how about you just write them down, right? Like it's an unwritten rule not to bat flip. Well, if you don't want somebody to bat flip, throw better pitches. I don't know what to tell you, right? There's written rules down that you can't use technology to steal signs. Well, that's what the Houston Astros did, right?
The Astros broke rules.
Actual rules written down.
Yes.
This idea of, well, if it was a player standing at second base, it's okay, but since it's the third base coach who's standing in his designated coach's box, that's where it's a problem.
What's the difference if the runner was on third?
You just lose me. Right. If the runner on third was getting the same thing that the coach at third base 3 feet to the right was getting, is it all of a sudden okay? That's where you lose me. So, yeah, I think if you see something with your own two eyeballs, right, or if you go back into the dugout and you see something on the tablet and then you go out there, again, the MLB sanctioned tablet that you're allowed to use, and you go back out there and you catch something based on that and you use that information, zero problem with it.
And I guess my question becomes, like, if I'm at the plate, let's say I hit second in the lineup, let's say I'm Corbin Carroll, and I pick up something and then immediately come back and give it to whoever's hitting next.
Right.
Is that not allowed now? Is that a problem?
Now, there is kind of this, again, it's an unwritten rule of when you're in the batter's box, you don't peek in and look at, what the catcher's throwing down sign-wise, right?
I think that's a very different thing.
I agree, but this is why we have PitchCom, right?
Yep.
So you're not peeking at anything, right? Maybe you can hear what's going out over the PitchCom, maybe. But other than that, no, if you catch something with your own two eyeballs, man, I'm sorry. We don't need to be policing that.
By the way, you share a birthday with Cutter Boley.
Me and future ASU starting quarterback Cutter Boley. By the way, Kenny Dillingham today said
about
a week or so on him.
I was just about to say, about 15 minutes ago, Kenny talked to the media and said Arizona State head coach Kenny Dillingham is still not ready to name a starting quarterback, but he did say Cutter Boley had his best day of practice Tuesday, his birthday.
Happy birthday to Cutter Boley.
A week or so, like, impromptu buy or sell.
Sure.
It is too late to name your starting quarterback.
I mean, you just name a starter.
Like, if they just...
It does feel like...
If they name him a week ago, it's 3 days
it does feel
prior
like,
to the first game.
It feels like the assignment is due at 11:59 p.m., and it's 11:50, and we're starting...
We're starting the paper.
Did you ever have the class where you had to do the form posts?
Yes, of course.
And they were due by, the discussion posts, and they were due by a certain time. And everybody in the class, you had to reply. You had to put a post up.
Yeah,
and then
you had to put a post up and then do
others.
2 or 3 replies.
The replies would all come in at the same time. It would be like 11:52.
Yeah.
Before they were due.
Mine, I gotta tell you, I had such a template to the replies. Like if I was replying to you, Chris, love what you said here. I really agree with you on X, but I have to say on this. And that template was kind of written out for me, and then I would just fill in the.
It feels like we're dangerously entering that territory with naming a starting quarterback.
Yeah. Yeah, I don't like this.
Like, just get the form post done. Just name the quarterback.
I'm sorry, maybe I'm traditional. I would like a starting quarterback.
Now, do I think their season's going to be derailed because they didn't name a starting quarterback this week and they're going to name one next week? No. But it does feel a little odd that we're dragging this out.
Yeah.
Although Northwestern only named their starting QB, it was either yesterday or today. I think it was late yesterday.
Yeah, it was late yesterday. Conferences will soon change the rules within each conference. So, they'll have their own rule set. Did you? And I'm saying this.
Okay, I got you. I know because
terrible phrasing.
Yeah, it was not great. I'm going to sell the way you wrote the buy or sell. Let me help
conferences will soon control their own rules.
Yes, and they already do to a certain extent. But you are referencing the court ruling that came in that said a bunch of players who actually, went to the NFL and signed contracts are actually eligible to play another year of college football. And the Browns waived a player. Apologies, don't remember his name, and he's going to LSU with Lane Kiffin, right? And so the SEC came out and said, listen, we don't really think this is how things should go. But that was just a statement. That was just words on a piece of paper that ChatGPT probably wrote for him, right? The Big Ten came out and said, no, we have a rule in place that we are putting a rule in place. This isn't allowed.
Yeah.
None of our member institutions can do this.
By the way, Kenny was also asked about this. He said, I don't care. We play football.
Hot take? I don't love that answer.
I don't either. With that being said, if IU can't find a team, it's got a year left of eligibility.
I think he'll find a team, but point taken. Yeah, listen. If the NCAA is not going to be able to govern it, these conferences are going to have to govern it, and it's going to have to come from the SEC, and it's going to have to come from the Big Ten, right? Those are the two power players. And so for the Big Ten to come out and say, because the Big Ten could very easily take advantage of this if they wanted to, because most of these guys that are coming back are going to want to go to the premium institutions. And where are most of the premium institutions these days? The SEC and the Big Ten. So for the Big Ten to come out and say, we're not going to do this, we don't think this is in the spirit of college athletics. Good on the Big Ten.
Good on the Big Ten.
I want these other conferences to follow suit.
And it's a shame. I think the SEC got put into a little bit of a spot because it happened to them first. Right? They didn't have the ability to react to a different conference.
Right, the Big Ten gets to say, well, that's the SEC's problem. Look at us. We're going to look like the good guys here. Watch what we do.
Exactly.
Right.
They get a little bit of a head start.
Right. This may be a little hypocritical of me, but maybe you'll agree. If I'm a Group of 5 school,
I'm
taking full advantage of this, man.
Yeah, I'm
trying to close the gap. Listen,
I'm
not cheating. The rules say I can do this. Let's go.
I'm sorry. I think the same thing about Arizona State. I'm in a year.
Listen, if I'm in the MAC, let's go, baby. This is part of my recruiting strategy. Akron, let's go.
What if a couple guys from the NFL came back and were like, yo, let's load up on Akron. Let's go win one.
So mid-majors, I'm all for it. If you're a
Why
SEC,
not?
Big 10, Big 12, no, you're not allowed.
Is mid-majors a term in football?
It's mainly saved for basketball, but you know what I meant when I said
I know
mid-major.
exactly what you mean.
Because in college football, it's Group of 5.
By the way, speaking of mid-majors, we have a very interesting game on the schedule that I think could be pesky for ASU.
Football or basketball?
Football.
Okay.
Hawaii.
They may be the king of the mid-majors.
They are going to be, I think they could be the Group of 5 school this year.
I dream of the day where college football can get their rules straight and get all this organized, and we can get the promotion relegation set up like they have in soccer.
Yes.
Among college teams.
Well, we'll get into that in the leftovers. We're going to have a little promotion relegation in one of the major sports here in the U.S.
Sort of.
Not really. Kind of.
And then they changed the way the season's going to end, too.
Yes.
That's fun.
Yeah. But Hawaii opens the season with Stanford and UNLV. If they win both of those games, and then they have New Mexico State, Wyoming, Hawaii, they'll come in to play ASU at 5-0, and they'll probably be the ranked Group of 5 team.
Interesting.
Could be a good win for us.
Could be fun.
Could be fun. All right, last one for you. When when it comes down to it, the D-backs will still be in striking distance in the last series of the year.
We didn't really get to it because we were talking about sign stealing. They've got 3 starters on the roster right now. 3. Now, they've got a doubleheader this weekend against the Giants, so they get to call up an extra person. And so they can, Mitch Bratt, who got sent down yesterday, can get called back up probably for that and start a game. But then he's got to go right back down. You still have 3 starters. 3. What are we doing here? How are you going to... And this is the bad month for Merrill Kelly. This isn't the good month. This is the bad month. So you really have 2 starters. It's not a winning formula. So I'm starting to get worried about this idea that they can stay within 3 games. That's the goal. Stay within 3 games and you got a chance. But I don't know. How do they get there? We've been talking about pitching for weeks now about how we're worried about it. Now, sure, you're going to get Michael Soroka back when he comes off of the IL. You got to get there. And you got to get there now with 3 starters. Boy, I can't wait for the first bullpen game in a couple of days with this, season hanging on the line. And they're using openers and, oh, yeah, where everyone's going to love that.
That's going to be a complete
Can't
disaster.
wait for Brian to chime in on that.
That is going to be a complete disaster.
That's going to be great.
That's all I got for you.
There you have it. Buy or sell here today on a Tuesday. Speaking of a Tuesday, all of the latest news from the world of football. It is the NFL News Dump, and it is next, the lunch break, KDUS AM 1060.
The Lunch Break with Chris Schubert.
Ketel Marte, I have not been given any information that tells me that this is anything more than him being disgruntled for one reason or another and walking away from the team. Torey Lovella was asked about comparing this year in Ketel Marte not being around to last year. Torey said, well, last year I had a heads up. That's the quote of the year. The manager of the team saying, well, this time that my player just randomly walked out on us is worse than the time it happened last year because last year I got a tiny heads up about it. Are you kidding me?
11 a.m. to 1 p.m.
I'm John Morgan of Morgan & Morgan, America's largest injury law firm. Over 35 years, I've seen it all. Car crashes, work injuries, defective products, medical mistakes, lives flipped upside down in an instant. But I've also seen something else, the power of fighting back, the power of winning. Over $30 billion recovered and counting. Size matters, reputation matters, results matter. There's only one Morgan & Morgan.
Morgan & Morgan, forthepeople.com. Arizona lawyer will handle Arizona cases. Prior results do not guarantee a similar outcome.
Chicago Sticks, the Windy Cities Tour. Finally, 2 iconic bands together for the first time. September 1st, Mortgage Matchup Center. Tickets on sale now at livenation.com. Don't miss Chicago and Sticks. All the hits. Your kind of tour.
By the time August rolls around, you've stopped being surprised by the heat. You walk outside, you get in your car, and wait for the AC to catch up. And at the end of the day, the one place you need to be cool is home. Your AC has been running since May, morning, noon, and night. And when it stays hot overnight, it never gets a rest. It just keeps grinding until something gives. At Gettle, we've been doing this for over 85 years. We know what a summer like this does to a system. Call us and make sure your home is the one place the heat can't follow you. GOETTL. We'll keep you cool, but it's hard to spell.
This is the sound of Lucy, staying on top of her spending. You see, even though she's buying a new pair of jeans, she knows that it fits within her monthly budget. Because Wells Fargo will send an alert if her balance drops below her set amount. Yep, nothing gets past Lucy, or Wells Fargo for that matter. However you make money work, Wells Fargo can work with that.
Wells Fargo Bank, N.A., member FDIC.
I'm Dan Patrick, and this is Above the Noise. Lane Kiffin's at LSU, but his departure from Ole Miss hasn't cooled the relationship. Walker Jones, Ole Miss Executive Director of NIL, took another shot at Kiffin, claiming the university scoured its offices for listening devices. And his message was pretty clear. Trust me, you don't know this guy like I do. They involved the FBI. Kiffin allowed future LSU coaches to stay at Ole Miss after his departure. So if the goal was to gain inside information, Couldn't those relationships have provided plenty without planning listening devices? How about Rebels head coach Pete Golding, reportedly still living in a home owned by Kiffin as recently as July? If the school genuinely feared Kiffin had planted surveillance equipment, would it really allow its head coach to stay in a house tied to Kiffin? The bad blood's obvious, but this increasingly feels less like protecting Ole Miss and more like a school still looking for ways to get the last word. I'm Dan Patrick, and this is Above the Noise. These days, everybody's searching for ways to save on insurance. Scrolling comparison sites, digging through tips, chasing deals. But Liberty Mutual makes it simple. Liberty Mutual customizes your car and home insurance to save you money. And when you bundle, those savings really start to come through. It's insurance built for real people with a team that helps you keep what matters most, money. No hassle, just confidence that your coverage is customized with savings in mind. Get a quote at libertymutual.com or with your local independent agent.
At DraftKings, we're all about responsible gaming. Sometimes you got to know when to hold up. There are no locks or sure things, so know when to fold up. It's more fun when it's for fun. So play responsibly. DraftKings, the crown is yours.
Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER. In New York, call 877-8-HOPE-NY or text HOPE-NY 467-369. In Connecticut, help is available for problem gambling. Call 888-789-7777 or visit ccpg.org. On behalf of Boot Hill Casino and Resort, Kansas, 21 plus. Agent eligibility varies by jurisdiction.
The Dan Patrick Show.
Deshaun Watson, that fans, you are forced onto them by ownership. They sort of have to root for you. That doesn't mean that they will. Now, the injury and booing you, okay, you should never have that happen. Why don't you just say the following? I hope to turn those boos into cheers. I understand why they would be frustrated. I want to be able to play and show people that I can play. Don't play victim here. Like you're tone deaf.
Weekdays, 6 to 9 a.m. on KDUS AM 1060.
It is Tuesday. It is hour number 2 of the program. It is 12:15 or so, which means it is time for the latest stories from around the world of football. It is time for the NFL News Dump. Take it away, Producer Evan.
Well, we will start with what just happened.
I got to tell you, when you say that, when you say we will start, it makes me think we're going somewhere for the look ahead. Like we're going to Carolina or we're starting in Atlanta.
Right.
And I felt there was something. I felt something.
We'll start on the practice field in Cincinnati, where it was Jamar Chase.
Oh, boy. Here we go.
Who landed awkwardly on his knee.
I thought you were going to tell me there was a fight or something.
After a catch. Appears to be walking okay.
Okay, that's
but
good.
is done in their joint practice today after grabbing his knee.
Yeah, we're just going to... If everything looks okay, that's great. We're not taking any chances. Jamar, go take a seat.
Something to keep an eye on because the video, like he grabs his knee clearly in pain.
All right, that's not great.
And kind of crawls off the field.
It's not great.
So it wasn't great. He is up and walking now.
Okay.
But certainly something to keep an eye on for the superstar receiver.
Yeah, listen, I love watching star players play, man.
Yeah, it's fun.
Yeah. Jamar Chase is one of the best, if not the best receiver in the sport. And watching Joe Burrow and him connect on these long balls is just great. So you hate to see a player like that, a player of that stature, potentially get hurt. So hopefully things are okay.
Yep. Some local news. Cardinals' Yoda Froholt reaches a 2-year, $20 million extension with the team.
All right, so now it's Paris Johnson Jr. and Michael Wilson left on the extension list for Monty. Do you think either one of those get done before the end of the season?
I think that there's a better chance that Michael Wilson gets done.
I would agree with that, yes.
Yeah, so I think that there's a chance that Michael Wilson could get done.
Before the start of the regular season?
Yeah.
Okay.
I think that's fair.
Michael Wilson has felt like the mid-season type extension to me. And then Paris is at the end of the year, depending on how he plays this year. But you might be right. They may not want to chance it and they may want to just get a deal done with Michael Wilson right now. But he feels like the Halloween, Thanksgiving, Adam Schefter alert pops in. Cardinals and Michael Wilson agreed to an extension, but we'll see.
John Harbaugh took to the media yesterday and says, quote, "It is reasonable to assume Malik Neighbors will be ready for week 1."
That's fantastic.
That is great.
That's
Considering what
news.
that video of him playing dodgeball looked like about a month and a half ago.
I didn't think he was going to be able to play football ever again after
You and
watching
I
that video.
said, like, wow, this is really bad.
It did not look good. It did not look like somebody who was going to, gain mobility back in that knee anytime soon. But he's back on the field. He's looked good, and yeah, if he's able to play week 1, man, that'd be really, really good for Dart and for Harbaugh in year 1, where a lot of sneaky expectations.
I was gonna say there are a lot of expectations, not necessarily playoff expectations.
Yeah, but there's sneaky
but there are
you've got to be better.
Forward expectations that they kind of need to hit. Like if they move backwards, people are gonna start asking questions. The Commanders released safety Will Harris today. They also placed linebacker Drake Jackson on the injured reserve.
Teams are starting to move the pieces on the chessboard around, right, before roster cut-down day, and they're starting to make these moves.
We talked about Trey Benson.
Yeah, we touched on Trey Benson in hour number 1 of the program, so you got a lot of that stuff that's going to start to trickle in here over the next couple of days, and then be on the lookout, right? And the Cardinals just brought in 2 players today, I think, to help their roster for their last preseason game. So just a lot of different roster moves, but pay attention to after teams make their cuts. There's going to be some talent that doesn't make 53-man rosters that teams are going to try to gobble up.
100%. I also think this is the time when people start to see it, and we've seen Von Miller get added.
Hassan Reddick is the name that I saw today.
There's the next one. Hassan Reddick. That was my next story I was just about to get to. Hassan Reddick is now starting to pick up traction on signing with a team.
You want to say it? You want me to say it?
No, I did. How about this? I did a 15-minute segment on it on Friday.
It's you. So I don't even need to say it. It's already been said on this program.
Yep.
Bring him home.
It makes total sense, doesn't it? For a guy who just never had it work here.
Well, it makes total sense because I think the Cardinals are desperate for somebody else to emerge alongside Josh Sweat, right? You're so desperate, and while I don't think it's the Hassan Reddick of a couple of years ago, you're telling me Hassan Reddick can't be a productive pass rusher for you?
Yeah, listen, do I think he's the 16, 12 sack guy that he was in Philadelphia? No, but I think he could get you 6 or 7 sacks and be productive and be a piece to play off of Josh Sweat.
Defenses have to respect the credentials, right?
Who he was. I mean, we're talking about an all-pro second team at times in his career.
Because if you think, oh, this guy's a has-been, he can't do it anymore, he'll get 8. He'll get 10 if you let him, right? If you play
savvy enough veteran,
right,
he'll find his way into double digits if you don't respect it.
You're going to respect the credentials, and then that makes it harder for you to be like, all right, I'm going to double Josh Sweat. Oh, Hassan Reddick will see that and go, oh, really? You're going to double him and not me? Watch this. So yeah, he could provide something. I didn't listen to this segment. Great segment by you on Friday.
Thank you.
Because if you brought this up on Friday, that's.
Well, I just there was. And I did the whole thing. I was looking, really, it came up, and I did the segment because I was looking at Spotrac.
And Von Miller signed with the Cowboys last week, so.
Yeah, and so that also kind of made me talk about it. But it was available free agents on the edge rushers, like Hassan Reddick, Joey Bosa, Leonard Floyd. You don't think any of those guys would help this team?
Again,
I'm sorry, Joey Bosa led the league in stripped sacks last year.
Again, not the player that their name invokes in your head, but they are still players that can probably provide something for you, and the Cardinals need a lot of something.
And you're going to get a 1-year deal, right? Like, right. We've said it how many times on the show, there's no bad 1-year deal.
I've never seen a bad 1-year deal. Never in my life.
Yep.
No such thing as a bad 1-year deal.
Eagles first-round receiver Mekhi Lemon returns to practice. He expects to be ready for the opener in Week 1.
Let me ask you about this.
Yeah.
Pressure on him now with A.J. Brown gone to kind of emerge as the...
Before the year, I would have said yes. I don't think so because of the injuries, and he just hasn't really practiced at all.
Okay.
And now I just think that a lot of that pressure falls on Devontae Smith and not Mekhi Lemon.
I'm with you there, but they had Brown and Smith, right? So they had two who's going to fill that second role alongside Smith?
Yeah, and I think more of the pressure falls into like the other guys. Like Goddard needs to be take a step forward. I think there's a little bit more pressure on him, and I think there is certainly pressure on Saquon. Like coming off the 2,000-yard season, and I know it was a lot of work, or a lot of carries and a lot of touches. Last year was not as good, and I think they need that to be better. So I think it falls a lot on some of the other guys around Lemon than it does on Lemon.
Okay.
Especially because of the injuries and everything.
Just curious.
Yeah, no, I think it's a very, very solid question. Jesse Minter, quote, has a new way of motivating Lamar Jackson to find the best Ravens. I have no idea what to do with this.
I mean, that's just coach speak, right? I mean, that's just there's nothing. There's no meat on that bone. There's nothing for me to do. I got nothing for you there.
But apparently he's more focused on connecting with the team than ever.
Oh, I'm so happy for Jesse Minter and the Baltimore Ravens. I'd like Minter. It was one of my favorite coaches.
Yeah, I just thought I wanted an offensive guy. If I was going to pick a defensive guy, I think Minter would have been the top of my list.
Saleh was...
Yeah, certainly on the list.
Because of the NFC West experience, you liked that part of it. But yeah.
But out of defensive guys, like in the top 3 of guys I would have certainly considered. Yeah. Out of the defensive guys, certainly in the names I would have considered. Last one for you.
Okay.
Bengals have released offensive lineman Cody Ford after 3 seasons.
I mean, I'll rehash my previous comment about you're going to see teams do a lot of this right now as they try to shuffle around I don't want to say deck chairs in the Titanic, but they're shuffling things around with their roster to get it in line to make all these cuts.
Yeah, veteran guy who over the last 3 years, 17 games, 16 games, 17 games, another fit that I would just, hey, why not? He's played guard, he's played both tackle positions, he's played both guards. Like, team's going to find that valuable.
By the way, Calvin Austin left Giants camp with what is being called a serious knee injury.
Yes, I was going to do that one.
And Chris Olave left practice early today for the Saints.
Oh, I didn't see that.
Just happened. I saw the tweet 1 minute ago. So they're already down Tyson, and Chris Olave left practice early. Now, that's all we know, that he left practice early, but some more wide receiver injury news this close to the start of the regular season.
He did walk off the field under his own powers.
Chris Olave?
Came down hard in a contested catch situation.
That's not good.
You know, the immediate fear there is his head, right? Who has been guy who's had multiple concussions throughout his career.
Not football related, but I just saw it on social media. Let me make sure this is accurate. Klay Thompson. Do you have any more stories, or can I?
That was it.
Okay. Klay Thompson's supposed to have his introductory press conference with the Miami Heat, and it was supposed to start 34 minutes ago. It is late because he is stuck in traffic.
Great first impression, Clay.
I mean, I don't think it's Clay's fault that the traffic is going on, but I just saw that. Thought I'd pass that.
45 minutes late is late, though.
That's way late. I mean, I tell my daughter for softball, we got to be 5 minutes early.
Yeah.
Because that's on time.
I got to be honest with you. Growing up, like, youth sports, because my dad worked, right? And then they would have practice at 6, and practice was, 20, 30 minutes from my house. And my dad worked an hour away, like in the heart of the city. Like an hour being generous on a Wednesday coming home from work. It could take us, I was always 20 minutes late to practice, always.
I mean,
it's hard getting there.
Yeah.
And he was one of the coaches.
Right. You just, we try to be at least 5-10 minutes early. Just in case we try
That's the way to do it.
That means you're on time.
That means, yeah.
If you're on time, you're late. Got to be there 5-10 minutes.
That's great coach speak there.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
480-864-1060 is the phone number for you to join us here today on the program. We've also got you over on the KDUS AM 1060 YouTube live stream. By the way, Chris Olave landed hard on his back. Said he got the wind knocked out of him. Kellen Moore said medical staff did not say anything that they needed further testing or if there was a cause for concern. So looks like everything's okay there for Chris Olave. KDUS AM 1060 YouTube live stream, 480-864-1060, the phone number for you to join us here today on the show. When we come back, Ketel Marte looks like he is coming back. What is that going to look like? That's next to lunch break, KDUS AM 1060.
The Jim Rome Show.
And of course, it's a big story when it takes about 7 seconds into Dart's preseason debut for the dude to be right back in the blue tent. Like, no matter what happens, he's going to end up back in his home away from home. You took a massive shot, then you napped it out on the field. If you don't want the concussion specialist to think that you might be concussed, you probably should not be napping it out on the field after a huge hit. It's not that complicated.
1 to 4 p.m. Monday through Friday here on KDUS AM 1060.
It's the end of summer sale with Zero Res. Whether you're looking to clean up before or after a barbecue, or you're getting ready for the new school year, Zero Res has you covered. Carpets, tile, hardwood, rugs, upholstery, air ducts, every surface in your home can be Zero Resified. So it's time to call the cleaning pros at Zero Res. If you haven't tried out Zero Res, or it's been months since your last deep clean, then now's the time to call. Right now, you can get your entire home Zero Resified from Phoenix's Ultimate Carpet Cleaner. And you get 3 rooms of carpet clean starting at just $129. You can also take $175 off your air duct cleaning. Listen, Zero Res has a 4.9 rating on Google. You can trust them. Schedule your appointment at ZeroResPhoenix.com or call 480-507-2419 and ask for the KDUS special. Spell it backwards or forwards, it spells the same. Zero Res.
Foreigner, celebrating 50 years.
You're as cold as ice.
5 decades of hit songs.
It feels like the first time.
Come alive on one stage.
It's urgent.
Foreigner. Sunday, October 18th, Talking Stick Resort. Tickets on sale now at TalkingStickResort.com. All the hits on one stage. Foreigner, celebrating 50 years, live.
Got things you don't need? Goodwill can put them to good use. This summer, donate your gently used items and score a 20% off coupon for your next Goodwill treasure hunt. It's a win for your home, a win for your wallet, and a win for the community because every donation funds local job training and career development programs. Drive up, drop off, done. Goodwill, a nonprofit, makes donating easy and accepts almost anything. Find a convenient drop-off location at goodwillaz.org today.
Hey, basketball fans, Tom Chambers here reminding you that just like in a game, you need a solid defense for your home. And that starts with a reliable roof from Right Way Roofing. Hey, Lori, as owner of Right Way Roofing, what sets you apart from the competition?
Our team tackles any roofing challenge from shingles to tile to foam roofing. We'll make sure your roof wins against the toughest opponents, rain, wind, and even those scorching summer days.
Make Right Way Roofing your MVP.
We're Right Way Roofing and we do it right. We'll always keep you watertight.
Hey, it's Bodie and Victoria. We started newacunit.com because replacing your AC the traditional way was stressful and expensive.
We believe homeowners should pay for their new AC unit, not a costly sales process. So we created a simpler way.
By cutting unnecessary overhead, not quality, thousands of homeowners have saved up to 50% on a new AC unit with everything included.
Make your next AC replacement simple. Visit newacunit.com today.
Save thousands, save time, buy online, newacunit.com.
The NASCAR Cup Series.
Off turn number 4, green flag goes in the air.
Races under the lights on a Saturday night in Daytona.
Let's see if the intensity picks up again like it has all night on these restarts.
Where the final spots in the chase will be decided.
Here comes Joey Logano off turn number 4. The checkered flag is waving.
It's the Coke Zero Sugar 400.
This Saturday at 3:30 p.m. over on KACG 1440.
Well, there's a lot of reporting suggesting that once Ketel Marte's stint on the injured list expires, that he will be rejoining the team. And I just keep wondering what that's going to look like. when he shows up to the ballpark and walks into the clubhouse and sits down at his locker and has to look every other teammate in the eye and those coaches in the eye. Because remember, the only people he's seen since leaving the team in Boston last week is Mike Hazen and Torey Lovello and whoever else was a part of that meeting at Salt River Fields. I don't know who else was a part of that meeting. We just know Mike Hazen was there. We know Torey Lovello was there.
Yeah, out of the team, it was just reportedly the four of them. It was tell his agent,
right,
Mike Hazen, Torey Lovello.
So he hasn't looked any of the other coaches in the eye. He hasn't looked his teammates in the eye that for the last week plus, and then however long is left on this injured list stint. He hasn't seen any of these folks. He hasn't answered for any of this. Maybe he's exchanged some text messages with some of them. Maybe he's called some of them. Maybe he's FaceTimed some of them. But he hasn't been in the room with them. And so I keep wondering what that's going to look like. And I'm sorry, but I saw the picture on social media last night because, again, I was at the game last night, was enjoying watching some baseball with the family. And so I come home and I see a picture on social media, and it's Michael Soroka in the dugout. He's on the injured list, but he's in the dugout with his teammates. And yet, while the Diamondbacks are playing Friday night, pictures get dropped of Ketel Marte at a casino. Those two things happened within days of each other. Again, it wasn't like the team was on the road and Ketel was at the casino. That's a little different. Team's playing. Game in progress. He's at the casino, not at the ballpark supporting his guys. Michael Soroka on the injured list, he's there in the ballpark supporting his guys. So I just keep wondering, how difficult is this going to be? And I wonder this, producer Evan. He walks out on them on Monday, right? Monday's game, disaster. Tuesday's game, disaster, because you're dealing with all the aftermath of this. When he comes back now, you've kind of settled a little bit from all of it. When he comes back now, are you going to have another shock? Right? Or there's earthquakes and then there's aftershocks, right? Like the earthquake was last week when he just leaves, walks out, and for 2 days, it's just chaos around the Diamondbacks.
Correct.
When he comes back, when he walks in, and now it's brought back up, those old feelings that maybe you stuffed away because you're in the middle of a playoff race, come back, they rear their ugly head, and you've got to confront them. He's going to have to talk to teammates. He's going to have to talk to coaches. Is that going to throw things off again for this team? I don't know.
I think slightly it's going to have to. Now, there's going to be an aftershock to this. I think that's the best way to put it. There will be an aftershock. People are going to feel the ramifications of that. How bad they are, I think that's the question. Because there's going to be people in that clubhouse that are going to be upset with Ketel Marte. There's nobody in that clubhouse that isn't going to be upset with how he handled it.
Did you listen to Torey Lovello yesterday pregame talking about what that's going to look like? And it kind of felt like somebody trying to give the answers to the test without specifically saying what you exactly needed to do. Like, it was like Torey Lovello was trying to speak to Ketel Marte without speaking directly to Ketel Marte of, hey, buddy, this is what this has got to look like. This is what you need to do. X, Y, Z. You got guys in this room that are not happy. He used the phrase that he felt betrayed.
Yep.
And he talked about how Ketel kind of marches to the beat of his own drum. He's private. He likes to keep to himself. Everybody else in the room is kind of the collective. They like to work together. He was basically telling him, Ketel, you can't walk back into this room and be the same guy that you were 2 weeks ago.
It's not going to work.
You can't. It's not going to work. Your teammates are not going to have your back maybe the way that they did a couple of weeks ago. He was giving him the roadmap. He was giving him the playbook as to how to potentially fix this.
And that's my point in saying that there's going to be an aftershock to this. It is how it's handled on Ketel's front and from the leadership group. A lot of this is going to fall on Torey when this return comes back.
Now, I'm going to take something that Code just put in the YouTube chat, and I'll ask the question to you. Do the Diamondbacks need to punish Ketel Marte in some way for this?
Yes.
Or what do you do?
For me, personally, I would suspend him another 5 games outside of the... And I know what you're going to say. You're in a playoff race. He's your best player. He's got to come back. I get it. But it's not like this team didn't just win a series without him.
I know, but is that punishment more to the other 25 guys in the room? I'm not saying... I'm just asking. Are you then more punishing the 25 guys in that room than you are Ketel
If he's
Marte?
not going to be in the locker room anyway, why don't we have a public vote? He's not here anyway. who wants to punish him in some kind of.
I told the leadership council. I said that this is what Torrey should do. He should call together, convene a leadership council, and decide, hey, what are we going to do here? Is it a fine? And I'll tell you this. I think the punishment that the Diamondbacks could potentially levy here is going to be swayed by how he conducts himself when he walks back into that room next week. If he is remorseful, if he takes accountability, if he's open with his teammates, if he doesn't try to act like everything is just normal, then maybe you don't need to punish him. And maybe the quote-unquote punishment is in the offseason, we're looking to part ways. We're looking to move on. We're looking to get out of the Ketel Marte business, right? That may be what ultimately comes of this. But Torey Lovullo, just for a second, and I know what a lot of you feel about Torey Lovullo. This is a dude that's fighting for his managerial career right now. His life as the Diamondbacks manager is on the line. It ends in a month and a couple of weeks, potentially. He is a lame duck manager. He does not have a contract for 2027. He's got to keep this on the rails. We told you about the Bob Nightingale story from last week, the week before, that it's playoffs or bust for Torey. So for him, the incentive is so real to win these games and to get into the postseason. So he's not going to want to make any moves that spite his ability to keep his job. That's what complicates this even more. So I don't know what this is going to look like, but it is not as simple as, Ketel Marte is activated off the injured list and he's in the lineup and everything's fine. And that's why I worry, does it take a series for things to gel? I don't know if the Diamondbacks can afford that. And that's not to say that means they should have Ketel Marte away from the team. That's not what I'm advocating for. I'm just trying to point out how difficult this is going to be, how challenging of a task this is for Torey Lovullo to keep this thing on the rails.
There's going to be a fallout here. How bad does it go? How bad does this reaction become? That's the question. There's going to be a reaction, right? Like there just is. This is a player who it is looked at now by the team, walked away from them. That is the truth. So what is the reaction going to be in the locker room? How are they going to accept him back? How is this going to be approached from a manager standpoint of, are we going to talk to the guys? Is this the decision that we're going to do with the whole team, with a leadership council that you brought up, with, is this a coaching staff decision? What is the conversation? What does this decision look like? That's what's going to matter. And you may have to check me on this. I believe he's eligible to come back for the Phillies series. I think that's when his stint. That sounds right, math-wise. I mean, we can look at when he officially got placed on the injured list, because then that's when the 10 days run. Ketel Marte placed on the 10-day IL August 20th. So the 30th is 10 days, so he's eligible to return for the Philly series? Yes. That's a home series. It's not on the road. So we'll see. I think it being on the road would help him tremendously. Yeah. Because there's a lot of pressure. Because I think, unlike in the past, there is, and I don't know how much of the fan base has changed their tune, but a decent chunk of them have changed their I would position, say it's over 50%. Have changed their mood on Ketel Marte. And that first 0 for 4 that he has in that Philly series, boy. There's going to be loud boos. Those boo birds are going to be loud. That's if it's not 75% Phillies fans in the building, like it was 85% Cubs fans last night. The boo birds are going to be loud if he struggles. And if he plays great, then for those 3 days. I also want to be very clear. From a team perspective, the pressure is going to be high. Like, are they going to? Is he going to walk back in and hit leadoff, hit second? Yeah, right. Is he playing that first game? There's so many different layers to this. Now, to my point about an aftershock and allowing this to linger, if you activate him off the IL and you don't play him right away, you're kind of prolonging the issue. But to your point, are we just gonna let this occur? Now, you can't. You're not supposed to be able to do this, right? The phantom IL, you're not supposed to be able to do this. But was him being placed on the injured list a suspension? And Code says this. They are already subtly trying to suggest that Ketel is sensitive and may not react positively to getting booed fans upon his return. I'm going to say very clearly.
If he plays well, then he won't get booed.
No. I just want he'll get booed.
If he plays well and they're winning games,
I'm going to stand up and boo him.
I'm just saying, if they're winning games and he is producing, he's not going to be booed. But if he goes
his
over
first
4
at bat, but it doesn't. His first at bat, he's going to get booed.
I think there will be boos. I don't think they will be as loud as you think they will be.
His first at bat, he's going to be booed, and he should be. And if he's sensitive about it, show up. Like, I don't really know what else to tell him.
I'm with you. This is a mess, and that's why it's just not as easy.
And Code says it too. Like, this is a guy who needed an MRI. The Diamondbacks played a full series, slept in Vegas, came home. He still hadn't got an MRI yet.
This is why I keep saying this is not as easy as he walks back into the building on Monday and everything's fine. It's not that simple. 480-864-1060 is the phone number for you to join us here today on the program. We've also got you on the KDUS AM 1060 YouTube live stream. When we come back, it's all the stories we didn't get to here today on the show. We call them the leftovers. We get to them next. The lunch break, KDUS AM 1060.
Another NAU football season begins this Saturday right here on KDUS AM 1060. Join the Lumberjacks as they look to start their 2026 season with a win over Eastern Washington. With head coach Brian Wright at the helm, the Lumberjacks look to reach new heights this season. It's NAU football versus Eastern Washington live this Saturday afternoon. Pregame at 1 p.m. and kickoff at 2 right here on KDUS AM 1060, online at KDUSNC.com and the KDUS app.
Phoenix has bizarre crime.
The canals of Phoenix, Arizona are hunted by a serial killer.
People were like, well, are we safe?
He's a sexual sadist.
2 grisly homicides.
I know I didn't kill anyone.
But solving these murders is just the beginning.
That can't be his first rodeo.
This is Season 6 of American Nightmares, The Canal Murders. Coming soon, wherever you get your podcasts.
The Smashing Pumpkins return. The Rats in a Cage Tour. 2 unique sets celebrating melancholy at 30 and nearly 4 decades of unruly hits and dark treasures. November 11th, Mortgage Matchup Center. Tickets on sale now at livenation.com. The Smashing Pumpkins. The Rats in a Cage Tour. Live.
Del yeah. Slow-cooked pork carnitas are back at Del Taco. Simmered in authentic spices for hours and loaded into your favorite Del items. Del Taco's carnitas bring that bold flavor you've been craving. They're available in street tacos, loaded fries, a combo burrito, quesadilla, nachos, and even a big fat taco. You can't hurry flavor like this, but you better hurry into Del Taco because they're only here for a limited time. Get your slow-cooked carnitas today, only at Del Taco. Del yeah.
Hi, I'm the VP of Play at Harrah's Auction Casino, and it's time to make your summer shine with Summer Playfest. Now through Labor Day, live music, weekly winners, and one lucky guest takes home a brand new Jeep Rubicon. With Caesars Rewards, you could win your share of more than $700,000 in cash and prizes. Summer Playfest at Harrah's Auction Casino. Play for all. Must be 21 or older to gamble. Know when to stop before you start. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-522-4700 or 1-800-NEXT-STEP. Visit the Caesars Rewards Center for details.
Ready to tackle each morning with the best sports information coming at you?
I'm going to take a logical approach.
Get that weekday mornings on KDUS AM 1060 from 6 to 9 a.m. with the Dan Patrick Show. Dan Patrick, the Danettes, sports icons, sports legends, celebrities, poll questions. The Dan Patrick Show has it all.
It's a crapshoot.
Be sure to lock your dials to AM 1060 or 100.7 HD2 from 6 to 9 a.m. Mornings just got better.
This story is about us.
All right, let's do it. It's all the stories we didn't get to here today on the show. We call them the leftovers. Usually, I don't know what is coming. But today, I told producer Evan to find a story. What? Why'd you point at me like that?
That you knew. You knew what we were doing.
You just pointed at me. It felt like I had done something improper.
All right, so I have done the research.
Okay. By research, you just read the story that I told you to go find.
I've gotten everything. I've done all the research. I know exactly how this works. I've also watched a tutorial video.
Boy, I cannot wait for you to mess this up now.
So starting in 2028.
Okay, you got that part right. So not next year, but the year after.
Yes, the Tour Championship will change.
Yes.
We will have the really two simultaneously running tours. The first one being the Tour Championship Series. That'll be the one we kind of know and love.
That's the one we have now, just not called that. Yes.
Yes. It'll be the top 120 players.
Yes.
They will play in the 24 events that award points.
Yes.
Those 24 events will also have the majors mixed in their normal spots. And then we will determine the point system similar to how we have it now.
The top 90 go to the points.
The top 90 go to the playoffs.
Yes.
Outside of that series, there is the Tour Challenger Series.
Yes.
Think of it as a minor league or
Correct.
a championship league.
Correct.
Compared to a Premier League.
Yes, very good.
Where if you do not finish in the top 90, you are then relegated to the Challenger Series.
Yes.
And we will flip in 30 guys from the Challenger Series into the Tour Championship
I
the
love
next
it. You're
season.
doing great so far. You've only got like 2 minutes, but so far so good.
So I'm kind of trying to get through this. The top 90 will then go to the similar tournament to what we have now.
Yes.
They will go into the PGA Tour Championship Series finale.
Yes.
A stroke play championship style.
One event.
One event. There will be a winner of that. That winner will win a normal tournament, and we will do it the same way. After that, they will give out the season-long points award winner. That is how we do it now. Now, here's the addition. The top 32 in points after the Tour Championship Series, or after the Tour Championship match, will then play in a new Tour Championship style tournament similarly set up to the World Cup. We will have 32 players set in 8 different groups of 4. Those groups will then go to a course for a week-long match where it will be 1v1v1. We will play it as we do group play in the World Cup.
3 days of group match play. So you're in a group of 4. You will play everybody else in your group once in match play over the course of the 3 days.
And then we will take the top 16.
Top 2 from each group.
From those groups, and we will move courses and then play a 16-player 1v1 tournament-style championship, where you have to win 4 matches to be the Tour Champion of the Year and win the FedEx Cup.
This is what we were asking for a couple of weeks ago.
Exactly.
This
now,
is perfect.
What this also opens up is this gives them, which I didn't understand, which I read in a second story, this allows them to go to a bunch of different courses.
Because they only need 16 guys.
Because you only need 16 guys, so you don't have as large of a field. So it opens the book of courses we can go to much larger. And we can play some of these courses that haven't held PGA events because they couldn't hold a field of 120 plus golfers. So now you can do it with a different course setup. You can add more courses all around the country. This is perfect.
I have been asking, and a couple of weeks ago we asked about this. How can we get match play into determining a champion? They did it. They landed the plane. They came up with something that I love. I cannot
And they
wait.
didn't sacrifice how it used to work.
No, we're still going to play that one.
It's essentially going to be the same way all the way through the beginning, other than the Challenger Series, and then we go into a top 32 tournament.
And you get match play. So you get one-on-one battles. So you got to play the course and you got to play the man. It's fantastic. I love it. I read it this morning and I was like, this is what we're going to talk about in the leftovers. Jim Rome is coming up next. It's going to do it for us here on the Tuesday edition of the show. Producer Evan, thank you for all that you do. Everybody, have a great rest of your Tuesday. We'll talk to you tomorrow. See ya.
AM 1060 KDUS Tempe Phoenix and KSLX HD2 Scottsdale Phoenix.